3 things that you need to focus on in your high school days. If you're new around here, my name is Rayyan Siddiqui. I'm 18 years old and I work at Microsoft. And in this video, I'll be going over 3 things that you need to do in your high school days. Now, this video is primarily for high school students, but it also applies to, say, if you're a freshman in college. This also applies to that. Now, looking back at my high school days, my high school was super interesting because I had graduated 2 years early. So during my first year of high school, I was in grade 9. And then in my second year of high school, I was in grade 10, 11, 12 all together. So I managed to graduate 2 years early. Looking back, I feel nowadays there's a lot of opportunities for high school students that they can avail because they're in such a unique time in their lives that they don't necessarily have a lot of responsibility. They have a lot of free time, yet they have access to so much opportunity, like so much like actual like professional opportunity in the world that if they really wanted to, they can make a lot of it. Now, the first thing that you high school students, you need to focus on is having a plan. Now, having a plan is really important. And by a plan, I don't necessarily mean like, so if you're not sure what you want to do, what career you want to go to, what industry you want to go to, that's fine. But have a plan of what you want to get out of life. Like not necessarily where you see yourself, like in what, like to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, but what you want out of life. Like really think about this deeply in your high school days, because once you get into college or university, like things really change. You don't really have that luxury of thinking about this stuff at a deep level. So during your high school times, what I want you to do, so say you're in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, I want you to think about what you want to get out of your life. That could be anything materialistic. Like for me, that was like, I want to get sports car. I want to buy my parents like super brand new cars, buy them houses, buy myself a big house. So that was one of my goals, like what I want out of life. So make sure to have a plan. Like, okay, here's what I want out of life. And then as you think about that more and more, like, okay, I want to buy a Lamborghini by the age of say 25. Like that's your goal. Or don't put an age to it, but just like, I want to buy a Lamborghini in my lifetime. For example, this is one of your goals. Now, as you think more and more about this, okay, like how do I even begin to, like, how do I buy a Lamborghini? Now, Lamborghini, and this is just an example. I'm just talking like just theoretically here. Now, a Lamborghini costs around like, I think $250,000. We'll say $300,000 to keep it, we'll round it off. So $300,000. Now imagine like $300,000. The average price of a car like in North America is around, I think, $60,000, $40 to $50 or $60,000. Now just think about this. Like there's people out there in the world that have enough money to buy like these 300, 400, like $1 million cars. So what are they doing that you're not doing? Or what are they doing that you can't do? So start to think along these lines. Like, okay, like there's so many, and I'm sure like I'm talking to you high school students. I guess you guys know about Andrew Tate and all these like Tate brothers.
Andrew Tate.
It's not about deleting entertainer. It's about literally changing the perception of reality so they can enslave humans. It's beyond just the inconvenience of I was an entertainer, I lost my channel. It's we want to enslave people. We want to trick people into getting a vaccine they don't need. We want to convince people to stay home and miss their fucking grandmother's funeral.
And all these social media figures that are popping up that are living these ultra like luxurious lifestyles. And you start to think about like, okay, like these guys are making an enormous, like a disgusting amount of money. Like what are they doing that I can do? So start to think along these lines. And once you get into like, once you shift your vision into this type of thinking, like you really set your life apart from the average thinker, and you can really do something great. Like you really have a shot at something great once you start to think about this in your high school days. Because that's the first, I think the high school is probably like the best opportunity you have that you can start to like gear your life towards this type of mindset of like thinking deeply about things, like thinking about business, thinking about economic opportunities and so on. So what I want you to do is just think about what you want to get out of life. That's the number one thing. Number 2 is workout. Now I can't emphasize this enough. A lot of students in high school, I mean, high school is a pretty like youthful stage of life, like everyone's super energetic, but there's still people in high school that don't like do a lot of physical stuff. Work out, like you like go to the gym consistently, like no matter what. Don't skip any type of physical exercises. Like your PE classes, don't skip those are super important. Because once you build a physical, like a strong physical foundation in high school, like during those years, like 13 to 18, that will set you apart for life. Like that is super important for you to do. It has tremendous benefits, like not just physically, not like you look good, you feel good, your mental health is good. Like once you start to work out, you also start to establish discipline. No matter what's going on in your life, your body is a reflection of whatever you're feeling from the inside. So it reflects that from the outside. Not only like this working out like has tremendous like health benefits and so on, like just mentally, like creating that discipline of going and doing something physical, doing something hard every single day, like that will start to develop discipline in you. And that's a super important life skill that you need to have. So make sure you work out. Now the third thing, what I want you to do is work smart, not hard. Now I can't emphasize this enough. Like you really need to take you really need to think deeply about things. Like whatever your goals are in high school, whether that's getting good grades, whether that's maybe you're doing a side hustle. I mean, that's not uncommon these days now. Like a lot of high school students are like making more than their teachers even. Like that's not uncommon nowadays. So I want whatever you're doing, like you're pursuing a side hustle, you're learning some new skills, you're trying to start a new side hustle, you're trying to learn some skills, you're trying to do something, or you're just focused on getting good grades, getting accepted into a good college. That's all good as well. But with all these goals in mind, I want you to work smarter, not harder. Think about how you can optimize your time differently. Learn online like learning strategies for tests, so you don't have to like spend enormous amount of times preparing for tests. Like try to really optimize every single thing that you do. Don't waste your time studying. I'm not saying don't study, but try to optimize it. Like for me, for example, I didn't have to study a lot for a lot of my tests, and I still got straight A's throughout my high school. And that was only because you need to like understand like psychology of like how teachers write tests, like what you like think about this stuff. There's plenty of resources online on like active recall learning and like different learning techniques, learning methods that you can use, where you don't necessarily have to spend enormous chunks of time trying to like digest information, and you're just like you're working smarter, you're being more efficient. So now I want you to do this in all aspects of your high school life. Whether that's sleeping, I want you to optimize that. Like don't like optimize your sleep, optimize your health as well, your mental health. Don't spend enormous amount of times like on your phone. I want you to optimize your school life as well. And how do you do that? Well, you do that first of all by learning efficient ways of studying, so you don't spend a lot of time studying. You do that by maximizing you'll get a lot of homework. Try to do your homework at school as much as possible. I'm pretty sure like in my school, for example, I can talk about my high school experience. Like we got a lot of time. Like if you really cut out all the distractions, talking to friends and so on, you got a lot of time in school to do a lot of the work that you're assigned to do at home. So try to finish that. Like one rule that I had for myself is like any homework that I get, I have to finish it at school. Like so during school time, like if I get some, like after eating lunch, talking with my friends, playing with my friends, I get any free time, I'll spend my time doing work. Like try to really do like all those difficult things at school, so when you get home, you don't have any schoolwork. Then now you can pursue and try to like get to the next level of life. Because in high school, that's where you really like set yourself apart from other people. That's how you gain an edge, I feel. Because in college, I mean, it's a bit different for college and university students, and I'll make another video going in more depth about that. But for high school students, this is particularly for people ages 13 to 18. Like this is your time to really shine, like really set yourselves apart, and just try to optimize everything and make sure you focus on making good use of your time. I think a lot of people, they're just like super overstimulated by everything. Like there's like pretty crazy stuff that goes on in high schools, and with your phone, social media, everything. Like try to really have a plan, what you want to get out of life. Start to think about, okay, like how do I get to this? Once you start thinking about that, you're automatically like detect all these stimulations or all these extra distractions that are keeping you locked away from reaching that goal. So you want to own a bunch of Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Scrolling on your phone, scrolling on TikTok is probably not going to help you with that. So you'll start to optimize, like you'll start to recognize these things. Once you do that, now I want you to optimize these things. Now I want you to optimize the things that you're currently doing. I want you to work smart, not harder. Try figuring out techniques on how you can like prepare for tests without like actually like studying like so much. Like you get good test results, you get good grades, you make sure you understand stuff, but try to do it in a way where like try to like question yourself, like just dig deep, be like focus on yourself. Like, okay, like how do I actually learn? Like, do I learn from doing stuff? Do I learn from like seeing visuals? Because one thing I'll give an example. I'm not a big textbook reader. Like if we got like if in my school days, if there was a textbook assigned that you need to study, I would probably read like a couple pages and just watch YouTube videos on it. Like that helps me retain much more of that information than just reading it. And maybe, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or bad thing, but that's just the way I am, is like seeing stuff online. Like make YouTube your best friend. Like YouTube, like just look up online on videos online on studying and so on. So this was a video for high school students. So for someone from the age of 13 to 18 in grade 9 to 12, make sure you focus on these 3 things. 1, having a plan, what you want to get out of life. 2nd is working out. That's super important as well. Super important during your high school day. And 3rd is working smart and not harder. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Even if you're not someone from high school, let me know what you thought of the stuff that I've said in the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.